Hey guys, welcome to today's session. Tail, you are bright and early today, dude. I love it. Love that punctuality. Tail said, hey, handsome. I mean, it's only me today, so I'm presuming that that's directed towards me. Appreciate that as always. I'm just going to ensure that the links have been sent out correctly. So bear with me for 2 seconds, guys. Just check on Twitter. Okay. Welcome, guys. Quantum Ghost, hello. How are we doing? Rob, hey, handsome too. How are we doing, my friend? Hope you're all good. Kieran, baby, looking good. It's because I got a cap on today. I couldn't be bothered to do my hair after I worked out earlier. I mean, I obviously had a shower after. Of course, I'm not a grubber. And I just couldn't be bothered to do my hair, so it's a cap day for me. Yet again, another wild day for metals. Gold currently up 1.9%, silver up just shy of 1%, pulling back now over the past hour. I've got a weird mouse. Sometimes when I flick it, it turns off like the clicker and it'll just scroll endlessly. So if you ever see me doing this on TradingView, it's because I've lost control of my mouse. Put the cap back on. Yeah, sorry. Shall I turn it around? Should we do a backwards vibe today? Oh, look at the forehead, the absolute state of that forehead through there. Absolutely not. But yeah, so it seems like let's take a look at gold. It seems like every time that gold is attempting to move lower, it's just like that instant buyback. Like this area here is just incredible. I think I mean, we're either going to see one or two things, right? It's just going to blast straight back above all-time highs like this, and then continue again and just again, like what we're seeing. Or I can see it melting, coming through here, bouncing back off that area. But I do not want to be short gold or metals at any point at the minute. I mean, I have no idea where they're going. I don't really care where they're going. I'd like to see a bit of follow through before I start shorting it. In terms of, I kind of think between this area here, let's say that area there, that's so skewy. Like, I'd like to see a bit of commitment, to the downside, but I don't know. Again, I don't trade it manually, so I just trade when my systems say to trade. It is what it is. But I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I was having a conversation with Blaine earlier today, and we were looking at silver specifically. For all the metals traders, if you're trading gold and gold alone, like, you're missing out. Silver is fantastic. I much prefer silver. The only problem that I had trading silver was I tried to trade once, and I ended up having to speak to one of our liquidity providers who basically was saying that the book is empty. It was when silver was all-time highs. This is going back a few months back now. And they were like, the order book is empty. We're not making markets here. And I saw this huge, I got slipped basically. I was trading a breakout strategy. So if you can imagine, let's say the breakout level was there, for example, price didn't actually get there, but because they blew spread out so much, I entered, hit stop, got slipped on that stop, and yeah, it wasn't a fun experience at all. So there's certain nuances you have to be aware about when trading silver. It's definitely not as liquid as gold, but I mean, this is just incredible. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. And even comparing it to like old crypto rallies, like, let's try and zoom in to give it some perspective. I mean, it kind of does. I guess it does kind of look like early Bitcoin, when Bitcoin first rallied to 20K. I don't think it's looked anything like, maybe so. Maybe in a couple of years, silver won't look as bad. Like, it might level out, and there'll be some big correction. It'll stick around for years again, and then go for another rally, and it probably won't look as bad. But for me, watching this is just, it's just insanity. I actually said to, I think it was on stream yesterday actually, and I was chatting to Blaine, and I said, and it was just like that automatic assumption. I was like, oh, how much is silver up today? How much is gold up today? It wasn't a case of like, is silver and gold up on the day? It was just how much are they up? It was kind of like, it was just a matter of fact at this point. And that is because we have seen, I mean, let's say the rally really started there. It's 161 days pretty much of like just, you know, green dildo through the roof sort of thing. I long XAQP. Love that tale. CSM, hello. Metals did go crazy. Yes, they did. What's interesting is the past like 3 days has, I mean, specifically on silver right now. Not so much on gold. Well, actually, yeah, pretty much on gold as well. But the past 3 days have probably been the most volatile days out of the whole run-up, which leads me to believe that potentially there's going to be a local top or a blow-off top at some point. You know, because we're seeing just this absolute violent curve to the upside, and generally is like the candles will look something like this. They'll start small, they'll get bigger. As they get bigger, it then looks to do something like that and have a huge corrective wave. I just don't know with these metals. It's I don't know, scary. I don't want to say something and you know and be too blanket with it, because I also know that, you know, they can double from here. It just is what it is. There's like zero trust and zero respect for currencies at the minute, kind of across the board. So silver, hey, I love silver, dude. I love silver. I trade silver. I have 2 systems on silver. You see them here, 2 systems on silver. Both fantastic systems. I don't turn them off. The only thing that I do is I monitor them. So I manage the position sometimes, but yeah, I won't ever turn those off. Document just published. Good afternoon. Hope you're all well, my friend. Tell says, when XAQP hits 50%, do we get a trade? I mean, we're not far off. We're not far off. I hit a new all-time high today, 145.91. And then USD CAD decided to pull back slightly. I'm currently running a test in 2 trades, dollar CAD longs and euro yen longs. Let's hide strategy tester for now. Turn that off. This is the dollar CAD position. I mean, it's a mean reversion play. So long in this, it's like a 1.1 or 1.2 R trade. 60%, 62% win rate, I believe, with a 1.2 R. So it's solid system. And then we have euro yen long as well. This is a negative risk to reward system. However, as soon as this goes like slightly in profit, the stop loss scales right down. It's like never ever hit full stop. So it's only a black swan event that's going to do that. And even if that happens, it's like $300. It's like nothing. This is one of the first strategies that I've migrated from my strategy quant Darwin to XAQP because it's so good. I'm currently testing. This is on CAD yen, and it's trading Keltner channels. Keltner channels, just FYI, like, is phenomenal, just fantastic. I like Keltner channels, Bollinger Bands. My mind recently has been enlightened. Keltner channels, Bollinger Bands, Ichimoku clouds, Arun cross, ADX, all of these things that kind of gets poisoned in the retail space, or more specifically the prop firm trading space. They're just fantastic. Like, I don't want to hear a price action trader bashing them unless you can show me a verified record of you slinging price constantly over a long period of time. But Kieran, indicators don't work. Yeah, exactly, man. It's do you know what it is? It's that kind of, because I used to believe that, right? I used to say that, and of course, usually, like when taken in isolation, they don't work per se. Like, you're never going to get a magical indicator that's going to make you ultra profitable. But I'm not looking to be ultra profitable. I'm building small edges that rely on, you know, 1 or 2 different criteria. And I think that's the difference, right? Is as a discretionary trader, you know, you can't just say, well, I'm going to trade only Ichimoku. Maybe you could with Ichimoku. I remember Baby Pips once saying that Ichimoku was the only indicator that you could build a full-fledged strategy off. But let's use Bollinger Bands. Oh my God, my chair's stuck. If you use Bollinger Bands as an example, it's very hard as a discretionary trader to build a fully fledged system around that. And in terms of like being able to perform at a level that you're going to compete with other traders, that you're going to beat the S&P, that you're going to beat inflation and all of the benchmarks that you might measure yourself on. Whereas my individual systems aren't looking to beat any of those benchmarks. I'm looking to have a small return, repeatable over time. Like this is my final checklist. I thought my desk was a little low. It hadn't gone fully up. So this has passed all of my robustness checks. I've tried to break it and break it and break it. It hasn't broke. It's just trading simple Keltner channels, like I said, CAGN. And this is kind of my final test before I put it live on my second Darwin. I don't put it on my first Darwin. And it's passed the live test as well. So this is 0.64% drawdown with a 6.5% return. And again, I'm not looking at anything crazy there, right? It's not like I could turn this into a winning formula that I would trade this and only this, which is why people say indicators don't work. But I'm just looking for small edges that are repeatable over time. And again, like a 50% win rate, it's pretty much got a 2-to-1 risk to reward. The average win is double the average loss, or there or thereabouts, maybe just under. The largest profit trade is also 3 times or 4 times the size as the largest loss. So it has great loss aversion kind of built into it. Decent win rate of 50%. So I'm super happy with that. I will run some Monte Carlos on this. I won't do it on the stream unless you kind of want me to do it now. I don't mind doing it now. And then I'll implement that into my FTMO accounts on my second Darwin. Then what I do is I run those strategies for at least a quarter. I run them live on a second Darwin before migrating them to XAQP. Let's take a look. A few comments. When something moves in a direction very fast, it's a sign of reversal. Yeah, exactly. It's less of a sign sometimes that there's more, you know, with metals, for example, that there's more buyers coming in. It might just be that there's nobody willing to put up the offer up there. Usually most of the trending moves happens at the end. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Crypto indices, individual stocks, metals in the past, like even currency pairs, less so in currency pairs, but it still does happen sometimes. Rob, I don't know, I'm back. I don't know if you saw my comment. My phone died. I was thinking about building an EA Discord. Don't know what you mean by that, bro. Yeah, maybe, did you message me on Discord? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure. Document just published, BQPN coming up to 20% mark. Fantastic work, dude. If you'd like me to review it, join in the session tomorrow, same time as today, 4 p.m. UK time, and I'll go over your Darwin in that session. Tal, wait, you 6% profit and I'm not 12% on D Classic. That's wild. For people who don't understand you and in those things must sound like anime character names. Yeah, that's the thing when you start talking about indicators and things that are kind of natural in, I don't say quant land because I'm nowhere near being a quant and I would never pretend to be a quant, but more on like the algorithmic side, it's like a different language and it can sound really fancy. It can sound really smart and clever, but really it's just learning words and like what they mean. Like Monte Carlo, for example, you'd be like, oh my God, what is a Monte Carlo? That sounds so fancy, so hard. You can build your own Monte Carlo tester on, you know, ChatGPT within 5 minutes, and all it does is randomizes the outcomes. It's nothing super fancy, but it's fantastic for robustness checking, you know. CSM, I plan to use the Darwinex instead of D0. I have a question about this. What account size do you think should be enough for doing my portfolio? I want to do something similar as you do with small lots on a live Signal account. Okay, so first things first, I can't really advise on this because I myself am not regulated by the FCA and I can't advise you on whether to open a live account or not. The only thing I will say, and the piece of advice from me is I would 100% of the time go with a Darwinex 0 account anyway, if you're looking to do what I do, purely based on the fact that, for example, silver, you won't be able to clip silver. And again, Blaine and I was chatting about this. Blaine has a decent chunk in his live account. I won't say exactly how much, but he has a decent chunk and he still can't trade silver because of the minimum lot sizes, based on the stop sizes that he has. So I would just say, just to be clear from a margin perspective, I would go Darwinex 0. And it kind of gives you a bit more peace of mind. Like if you're testing new algorithms, I'd rather be doing it on a live account that doesn't really have my money, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. I can't advise you on the opposite. So yeah, perhaps I'm biased, but I still think that's probably the best way to do the initial testing anyway. And then you could always, like, this is the thing. I would rather trade it on a Darwinex Zero account so that I don't have any margin issues, and then potentially like self-invest via a Darwinex investor account. That's what I do. It's what I would prefer to do. But you know, each their own, because you can also leverage that up. But again, not advising on that, especially not on a stream. Rob was thinking about doing a Discord based on building EAs for all of us that want to learn how to build an EA, if that's okay to mention here. Yeah, I mean, maybe we could just do that in the Darwinex server, perhaps, because we've got a lot of guys in the Darwinex server who are successful at doing this. So perhaps it's worthwhile putting a forum in there. Maybe we build a forum and you know, we can just all get active in there. I was thinking about that the other day because it ties in nicely to our Tuesday session. So what we're doing now on a Tuesday live session is we're building a charity Darwin. I've got authorization that we can do it, and I won't be liable for the tax because we'll send it from our business. So I'm going to get that Darwin set up this week. We've already got a couple of strategies that we're going to run on it. But you know, it might be a good thing to get a forum going for that as well. So there's a lot of because there's going to be a lot of educational content coming from that. It's not just we're building a Darwin for charity. It's like, we're going to show you how we build our Darwins in real time. Bearing in mind, you know, you're learning from me. This is my record for anybody who is unaware. And then Blaine as well. You know, we're not just some random guys who like trading. We're both managing live investor capital. We both have solid records at Darwinex, and you're going to be learning from us and what we do and how we do it, right? I apologize if I said that completely wrong. Hi all, how we doing? Hope you're all good. Tal, how much investor capital do you have now? Plus, did you sort out that you can invest into yourself? Yeah, so I can invest into myself. I had to change it. So if you search on Darwinex, you can see traders total equity, and mine did have hence why it doesn't show like the lines here. I had investment in XAQP under this account, but I had to pull it because of tax. I set things up incorrectly on my end, which is totally my fault. So I've had to set up a separate investor account that's not linked to this account. But yeah, I can self-invest. I have that all set up and personally as well. And then investor capital, I have $175.5 thousand in investor capital. That's 15 guys. I mean, to be fair, I feel blessed. I feel lucky because I have a lot of exposure with this, right? Is you guys have seen me build this from day one because I was live streaming way before this record was active. There's a lot of people who come on these streams who see me. You can see I'm a real person. I'm so open and transparent about my processes, how I build things and what I do. So I attribute that to why my investor capital has kind of skyrocketed. My goal was 100K by the end of January, and we smashed that within like 1 week. You know, which was really humbling, but obviously I massively appreciate that. It's far exceeded my expectations of how fast it will go. And I've also had kind of confirmation that I will be in the index soon as well, which will probably add another, I don't know, 250,000 maybe, hopefully in February, which will be great. I'll be super buzzing about that. And then the goal is to build the charity Darwin and try and get as much investor capital in there, because you will know that not only are you investing into an asset that hopefully has a positive return long term, but is also going to be doing some good. All of the proceeds will go straight to charity from Darwinex and from myself and Blaine. Like, we won't take a penny from that account. So I'm really excited about doing that. Really excited about doing that. Day one OGs represent. How much of the perform? Tal, I'm not gonna give you that answer. But it's about 90%. Rob, can we have a thread or something then? Yes, please do. Yeah, I can set up like a forum or something, and maybe a chat channel as well, perhaps. Yeah, I think it makes sense to keep it within the Darwinex Zero Discord, purely based on how many quality traders there are in there who trade algorithmically and build portfolios. But let me mull it over. Let me have a think about it. Blaine's Darwin is 2.5 years. No, sorry, 2 years. 2 years this month or in February. Johan MC5, how'd you build do you use Strategy Quant or Dreamer FX or another software? So I originally built the majority of my systems on FX Dreamer. So this whole return is built with FX Dreamer. I only included 2 Strategy Quant systems in the past couple of weeks. The rest of this curve is from FX Dreamer. These days I use FX Dreamer, Profectus AI, and Strategy Quant. Strategy Quant I just run in the background on my dedicated server 24/7. I just keep building strategies again and again and again. And then when I have an idea, something that I want to put together, I'll either use Profectus AI or FX Dreamer. Profectus AI is owned and ran by this guy, Max, who has the Darwin PYE. This is his Darwin. It's been around since 2022. And it's kind of a competitor to FX Dreamer, Profectus AI. So again, it's just like a drag and drop block builder. So we can just drag when to trade, run per tick, and then you would draw a line from one to another. Can't do that. Oops. Draw a line, connect them all together, and it will connect the flow and then build an algorithm for you. I say build an algorithm for you. It's all like predefined blocks of code, and you just connect them together and build your ideas. Super efficient way to build strategies. I get that sometimes some people might feel a kind of way about, oh, well, you haven't coded it. And whilst you're right, I'm like, it's far more efficient to not code it when you have block builders like this. The only problem is if, and I'm completely honest about this, is if, let's say meta quotes vanish tomorrow, is you've got to work a way to translate all these strategies into a different programming language. Now I can code really bad, but I can code to a degree. So I think perhaps like if that ever happened, I just rebuild them on. I mean, there's FTMO are partnered with one as well, I believe. But I think FTMO is C Trader. You have to log in. You have to log in. Where is it? Similar updates, ticker, trend analysis, tons of partnership deals. Yeah, Algo Builder. So FTMO are partnered with these guys, Algo Builder, but this is just for C Trader, I believe. What does it say? Yeah, C Trader, which is interesting, like because I used to trade with C Trader all the time, and then since becoming an algo trader, I dropped C Trader completely and moved only to MetaTrader. But it's nice to know there's an alternative. There's also one I found for futures trading. I can't remember what the platform's called. I'll try and find it out if anybody's interested. I'll try and find it out. I have it somewhere. I have it saved somewhere, but I can't remember what the platform's called. Rob, are you on 2 different accounts watching this stream? Because if so, that's dedication, my friend, and I respect that highly. Risk 1%, howdy. Hope you're all good, my friend. Andrea, hi, sorry, can I see multiplier history? Of course you can. You guys know I'm transparent about everything. So we started at 4.81. I only had about 5 strategies live at the time. As I added strategies to the portfolio, it did come down, and then I haven't really made too many changes since like September-ish, and you can see it's been pretty stable since about 3.4x. Currently 3.55, so it's gone up slightly recently. Unsure of why that is. Not sure why it's gone up slightly. But yeah, interesting. Oh, me to that. I don't know if you guys saw as well. For anybody who's in Darwinex Gold, we made the decision today. Hold on, let's wait until you're at my level. Luke Val, my brother, how are we, my friend? I love Kieran. I have liked. You are the best. You are the best. I need to come and see you soon as well. We'll sort that out. Yes, we made the decision today. Anybody in Darwinex Gold up until the 240th position in the leaderboard will get an allocation at the end of this month. So from the standard, I think it's 141. The top traders will get an allocation. After that, there'll be a 30K allocation from spot 141 to 240. that'll last for 6 months like any other Darwinian gold allocation. It's just our way of kind of, you know, recognizing that there's been a lot of high performers this month. And it stems from a conversation that we had where there's one trader who has, I think it was a 3.82% return, and they weren't going to receive an allocation at the end of January. And to us, it kind of doesn't seem fair that all we ask is that you perform well, because we have the capacity to monetize you and to utilize your trading talent. And it doesn't seem fair to us that, you know, we ask you to perform and you do it, and we shout about how we're a meritocratic company, and we reward the traders that are doing well. And then when they do well, they don't even get a look in for the allocation. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this month is a bit of a unicorn month because of what I was saying with metals going absolutely, you know, bonkers, is that we've had a lot of traders just long in gold, long in silver, and making a high return. So we made the decision to add a load of 30K allocations to you know, an additional 100 spots on the Darwinia leaderboard for Darwinia gold traders this month only. This won't be a repeating thing. It's just because, like I say, this month has been a bit of a unicorn, and you know, we want to show you guys that we do stand with you the whole way. We don't just say that, we actively do anything in our power to try, you know, and stand with you guys and give you the best shot at this career. Andrea, perfect. Thank you. Very kind. Absolute pleasure. You guys should know by now, I'm a complete open book. Obviously, I won't ever give my IP away on all of my trading strategies, but I will always be open about what I do behind the scenes and you know, all my metrics, etc. D Martin NQ, I started using SQX recently. I see you use FX Dreamer. Do you think one is superior to the other as it relates to strategy quality, or is it just preferences? Great question. Great question. I don't think one is superior to the other. I think they complement each other nicely. I'll be honest, I prefer the strategies I build on FX Dreamer purely because I have a little bit more trust in them, let's say, because I understand the logic behind it. I put all the fail safes in there. I do everything, and I'm a bit anal about things like that. So it's my preference. However, from an efficiency perspective, and that's not me saying that Strategy Quant doesn't produce some good systems, because it absolutely does. As I showed this one earlier, here's one that I built. Well, I've been testing it today. This is, you know, and if I built this myself on FX Dreamer, I would be absolutely stoked. So I'm not saying that the strategies on SQX are worse than what I can build on FX Dreamer. I'm just saying that it feels a little bit naughty to data mine a strategy compared to building it yourself and, you know, putting the work in. However, what I will say is, from an efficiency perspective, Strategy Quant is unlike anything that I've ever seen. I run it in the background. So of course you have to have a Strategy Quant account and a subscription, you know, or I think I paid for a lifetime license. And I set up a dedicated server. So you can see over here, I'll bring it across. So this isn't my computer. This is a dedicated server that I've set up. So this costs me about £55 a month. It's got about 64 gig of RAM, so it's a good computer. It's not like a supercomputer, but it has enough power to run Strategy Quant to a high level and all my MetaTrader. So you can see this is where I run all my strategies. Yeah, so there is a cost to it, but the efficiency is unlike anything I've ever seen. Like I'll just let it run in the background because it's on my server. I don't need my PC to be open. I'll set it to build. I'll come back. There might be 10,000 strategies built. I can test them all. I can try and break them all. Sometimes I'll be left with none, right? So it's not like every time I run a build that I'm going to come away with a strategy. It's not like that at all. And in fact, what I usually find is I might do 10 builds, building 10,000 strategies, you know, and come away with 0 every time. And I go, oh, you know, I've tested 100,000 strategies and not walked away with anything. Then I might change the settings, try something else, try a different combination of parameters, and, you know, build 10,000 strategies, and I might walk away with 20 systems. And I'm like, well, I can only take 2 or 3 because they're all correlated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw away the rest. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them to the charity Darwin, but that's the way it works. It's like you might build and build and build and build and not take anything, and then one time do a build and walk away with 5 systems. So as long as the correlation isn't too high and they're using different indicators or ideas, then you should be okay. So yeah, Strategy Quant for efficiency, absolutely. FX Dreamer and, you know, block builders for that peace of mind of going, I know exactly what's what's in there. I know exactly like the fail safes that are there and the complete logic behind the system. CSM, did you go for the Intel processor on the VPS? No, I went with AMD. AMD? Yeah, AMD Ryzen. Oh, what was it? I can't remember. It was a Ryzen. It was a bit more powerful than the Intel processor. I'm behind on stream because that's to help mom, but yeah, it was on 2 streams for that comment. What a ledge. What a ledge. Vincenzo, do you create systems using SQX? Yeah, SQX and FX Streamer and Perfectus AI. Yeah, Ryzen 5. Was it 5 or was it 7? One of the two, probably 5. I know my personal PC is Ryzen 5. I'm sure my server's the same. Johan MT5, what is your process behind creating profitable strategies, and do you do robustness testing like in-sample, out-of-sample, Monte Carlo, etc.? Yeah, I do all of those and more. So it depends on what I'm building. If I'm building an FX Streamer, I will do it a little bit more manually. I do a lot more testing in MetaTrader and Quant Analyzer. If I'm building on strategy quant, then yes, I will set a process where I do the initial build. I'll test it on different time periods. Then I'll test it on the overall period. I'll then test it with slippage, as in I'll increase the slippage per trade, I'll increase the spread, I'll sometimes, not always, but sometimes increase the commission, just to try and stress test it. I used to do this more, I still do it occasionally, but it's not a make or break for me, is testing it on other assets and other time frames. It's good to know that the strategy works on all assets and all time frames. However, like I say, it's not a make or break for me. I don't mind if I built a strategy and it works better on dollar yen than it works on euro dollar. I know they're completely different assets. I know they're moving completely different ways. So of course, like a strategy I've designed to work in a specific market might not work for other markets. And I've seen guys say before that, you know, if it doesn't work in other markets, it's not reliable. It's not going to perform live. I highly disagree with that. I think every market, every single market, every single asset has its own dynamic. It has its own personality, its own behavior, and you kind of have to play into that. You would as a discretionary trader, so you should as an algorithmic trader as well, I believe. Luckily, running a portfolio, you kind of catch errors and mistakes quite early on, and you're able to make the required adjustments very quickly without your account being damaged. For example, if you're a discretionary trader and you're trading one system, if something goes wrong, you kind of have to adapt in the moment. It might take some time. Your account might get hit, but I run like 30 strategies on XAQP. So if one breaks, it's okay. It's not ideal, of course, but the other strategies might take the heavy lifting whilst I have to fix the one that's broke, sort of thing. So yeah, to answer your question, I have like a long list of things that I stress test. And then eventually I bring them onto MetaTrader. I run kind of my last test, which is an 8-year back test. This is like after the in-sample and out-sample stuff. And if it performs there and it has a decent enough return, I like above a 3% return with like a 0.5 to a 1% max drawdown over that 8-year period. I like a profit factor ideally of above 1.5, but I will go as low as 1.3 if the curve looks good enough. Then I will start running Monte Carlo tests on it. I will add it to the portfolio. I'll measure the portfolio correlation between the other strategies. I'll run a Monte Carlo on the portfolio and I will measure the change in the max drawdown. I'm at that point now with my portfolio where it's less about making more returns each month. It's more about how do we cap the downside, okay? And I mean, my portfolio has very little downside. You can see it on XAQP curve. On my master account, it's even lower. I think the max drawdown over an 8-year period on my master account with the risk level that I run is like 1.7%. And since live, which is April, May last year, it's been 1% max drawdown. So it is super, super low risk. But I'm more about how do we maintain that low risk status? I don't care about more returns. The returns come. I've proven that. As have many traders. Like it's more about, okay, how do we keep this going and mitigate as much downside as possible? CSM, you can also have block building in SQX. Yeah, I haven't looked at that yet. You have the algo wizard, is it? Is it the algo wizard? Yeah, I haven't really looked at that too much. I've just been because I have FX Streamer Hey, get down. Sorry, my dog wants to see my kids. They've just got back. Yeah, so you can build your own blocks in SQX. I haven't tried it. Maybe it's worthwhile maybe we could do a session on this actually. Maybe we could do a live stream and we'll kind of go over it together. I don't know. Because it's all well and good me getting up FX Streamer, which is what we do in the Tuesday sessions, and going through and building something. I know FX Streamer, so it's going to be, you guys are going to be going, oh, I need to watch this back, I need to rewind and stuff. Whereas like if I'm learning it live, you'll be able to learn it with me, I guess. Yeah, you tried it. It's very fun to do. Yeah, block building is so fun. I actually had this conversation with somebody, a good friend of mine, huge name in the industry. In terms of like from a follower perspective, and he was asking me a little bit of advice on building a portfolio of algorithmic strategies. He's currently going through the process of moving from discretionary to algorithmic, but he's a programmer by nature. Like that's his background, and we were kind of having a conversation, and I could tell in his head he didn't want it to be as easy as, well, I can load up FX Dreamer and build a system. And I kind of said, I get it, I understand. Like you've committed your whole professional career to learning a skill like programming and development. However, it's not just when it comes to block builders. I think we're entering an age where artificial intelligence is taking away a lot of these skills very, very quickly. It's probably a matter of time before it happens to trading. We're already seeing it happen to content creators. As much as you probably don't notice it, if you go onto TikTok and think how many videos on there are AI generated. You've got images that are AI generated. You've got captions. You've got the voiceovers. Like everything is AI. I think it's a matter of time before people succumb and just accept that. I don't think programming is a dying breed, and I think AI is nowhere near as good as a human mind, in my opinion. But from an efficiency perspective, I'm like, do you really want to sit there writing tens of thousands of lines of code when you can drag a couple of blocks onto a page, at least to get a quick prototype to say, yes, this idea works, or no, it doesn't. And then maybe you can tinker with it. Maybe you can rewrite it into your own coding language and what have you, or not, I don't know. CSM, it's like FX Streamer, but it's something special about it and makes it spark. You're on about the algo wizard, aren't you? I presume you are. Trading signals, add conditions. Yeah, I presume you're talking about the algo wizard. And then where's the AI? Where's the AI one? Have they removed that? Editor. There was an AI thing as well. I don't know where that's gone. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure there was a way to build an AI strategy or like talk to AI through AI wizard. Where's that? Because I can't see it anywhere. Yeah, I can't see it on my SQX. Maybe I'm being blind. I'm sure it used to be down here by Algo Wizard. Here we go. AI Wizard. Yeah, I was just being blind. So you can speak to this as if it's like an LLM and get it to build a strategy. I don't know. Let's try it. I've got 3,000 credits. I don't think I've ever used this. Build an intraday strategy on, I don't know, what should we go for? GBP, JPY, CFDs, using Ichima. Let's use Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands and a trailing stop. I've never used this before, so we'll see what it kind of comes back with. It's thinking. Vincenzo, when backtesting directly on MT5, the data comes from Darwinex server or MetaQuotes. Darwinex. So I have like hundreds and hundreds of gig of tick data on my machine. So I download all. I do my strategy quant testing on Darwinex tick data anyway. But strategy quant is never 100% to what the live tick data is. So I'll always then put it on MT5 and run real tick data based. Every tick based on real ticks, which is actually pulling tick data from Darwinex. You can also see the equity and backtesting it as you go. Okay, let's have a look. Ooh. So then, sent 51 credits. What for a message? Sent a backtest results. So I'm presuming that we just go improve this strategy. Let's just go exit conditions. See what this comes up with. Like I say, my credits were at 3,000 at the beginning, so I've never used this. Is it a gimmick? I don't know. CSM seems to say that this is pretty decent, so we'll see. I must have built something on Algo Wizard before, because there's something here, but I don't know what that was. It's definitely me just tinkering around because it was on Aussie yen. Oh Lord. It takes quite a while. Which I always think that's a good sign when you're dealing with an LLM and it takes a long. I'd rather it take a long time than it just answer me straight away. Apply chosen improvements. Yeah. Let's see what it comes away with. If I click off, yeah, it comes back up. Here's the 4 strategies that I'm testing right now. This is the one. That is this. So you see the curve is completely different. Like the curve looks really different, especially in 2018, which is this period down here. The curve is really different when running it on real ticks. But it actually looks better, in my opinion, running it on real ticks. The profit factor is higher as well, which is always a good sign. So yeah, that's interesting. And I think that's based on Keltner channels. I don't know what these other ones are based on yet. I haven't downloaded the source code and tested them out. I will do that this afternoon / this evening, however, and just run them in the background. Yeah, if another one is based on Keltner channels, because these are all on KGN, what I'll probably do is move the other ones to the charity Darwin, and I'll just keep the one that I've got tested on MT5 already for LVFZ. I get your CSM. You was talking about the block building. Got you. So if we send this to Algo Wizard editor, I'm presuming that brings it here, and then we can run the back test. I'm presuming. 2008. Why not just put like 10 credits, and each time you chat is like 1 credit? I guess it's based on how much it's using, but I'm like 3,000 credits is quite whatchamacallit? DJ Bollinger. It's quite misleading when I've sent it like 2 or 3 messages and I've already used 150 credits. I have a Scooby. Choose how to resolve the differences. If you use from loaded, your resources in strategy can't be overwritten with the ones you've given strategy config. Use existing. There we go. Continue loading. Okay. Does it have the RSI in this? Longs are entered when price. ATR. Yeah. RSI. Okay. So let's close this down for now. Then I presume we just long entry. Okay. Oh, long entry, short entry. Presumably we just run backtest and see what it says. That's on the M15, not the H1. I think so. Come here. Initial in backtest data. What we can do while we're waiting for that is I'll run the backtest for this as well. So we'll download this source code. So what I'm doing, I'm just moving this from my PC to sorry, from the server to my PC. So I'll come in here, open, paste a file into my downloads. Is it 442? Yeah, 442.135. So then I'm going to save it into my testing MetaTrader. So you go advisors, testing. What I usually do is in brackets after, I'll put the asset and the time frame just so that I can find it easier. Because when you've got hundreds of these, it's really easy to lose track of which one it is. So now that's compiled, and in my MetaTrader, we can load that up. Ha. Yeah, so that's defo not working. Okay. Yeah, interesting. So I've definitely done something wrong there, but I don't know what it is. I'm presuming I don't. Oh no, it's just a crap strategy. Okay, I'll probably leave that for now in terms of the algo wizard. I have good enough processes that I'm not bothered about that. Let's go to the retester. So the one that we're retesting is this. So I'd like if the curve can look like this, I'll be happy. I don't think it will. So let's load it up and we'll take a look. So refresh. It was 442.135 CJH1. That's one. Kajin H1. Every tick based on real ticks. Yeah. So this is an Ichimoku system. Fantastic. So let's go. I want to see what the optimized values were. 26, 28. Yeah, it's already loaded across. So the sequential optimizations on strategy quant look for not the best performing areas. So that backtest is about to run. So when you run a sequential optimization, you see what it's looking for is the area of high stability. It's not looking for the areas to highest performance, which would be just completely over optimizing the system. In terms of going, well, if you'd have traded it there, it would have made the most amount of profit. That's not what we're bothered about, because that's just a one-way ticket to over optimization or overfitting the strategy. So we're looking for the most stability. We want to see the most stability in all of these things. So I've copied those optimized values across to the strategy. So now we're going to run it on MetaTrader and see how that performs. Dollar CAD's looking like it wants to go, but it's not. Euro yen I've been in since yesterday. Yeah, rejecting my entry multiple times, which is a nice sign, because what's probably going to happen is we'll bounce above it and use this as support. So I'm hoping for that before the end of this week. This will close out on Friday, winner or loser. So hoping for that to flip. Dollar CAD looks like it wants to go from here. This is a mean reversion system. It's one of my favorite strategies that I have. I run it on 5 different FX pairs. I'd like to see that kind of rally into the end of this week. That doesn't have a time close on it, so that will just run it until we hit target or stop. Yeah, so let's see. It's like FX Streamer, but you can backtest each change you make as you go. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so this definitely does not look like the curve on strategy quant. Where's the curve? Yeah, so already we can see that this is pretty much useless, unless that was just like that looks to me like maybe the data isn't correct. Maybe there's some issues with the tick data there. We'll check at the end. It'll come up with a score of the quality of data, because if we look at that compared to after the February 2018, although I didn't notice that issue, maybe that was the issue. Because when I ran that test on the last one, I did say at the beginning it was this period of time, wasn't it? Early 2018, the curve on MetaTrader looked really bad compared to the curve on Strategy Quant. So I'm wondering if there's missing ticks on Kajien. Let's see. I don't think I'll be able to find it. Yeah, I think maybe there was an issue with the tick data back in early 2018. We'll see. We'll see how it performs for the rest of the time. We'll then take a look at the last system, because that's completely different to this. So yeah. This is more like it. That's more like it. AG Hassim, how we doing? Hope you're all good, my friend. See what the market's doing currently. Silver, again, just bouncing from that previous H1 candle. Bearish engulfing, just completely gobbled back up. Gold, yeah. I mean, come on. Gunning straight for all-time highs again. Why don't I use 1 minute data instead of tick data? Tick data is way more accurate than 1 minute data. So I do have both downloaded, but I run it on tick data. It's far more accurate, because the 1 minute data doesn't account for all the prices it traveled to. So the 1 minute, takes the open, high, low, close, but it's not always 100% accurate in how it works out, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's fast. I'm not bothered about it being faster. I'd rather have it more accurate. But the tick data is far more accurate than using like open, high, low, close, because you're looking at every tick within that 1 minute candle. Yeah, this is definitely a data issue. That's not. I don't know. We're gonna have to take a look at that. I don't trade too many of these sort of systems. This looks like it's quite a high risk to reward, low win rate. Not a massive fan of those, to be completely honest. I don't like these periods of, just chop. It's not. I would rather. I would rather like the last one. Just save in here. Count the channels. Didn't save the blooming thing. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We're in 2021 now. Oh wow, we're still only in 2021. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Dollar Cat's moving again. Nice. Which means I could be back at all-time highs almost. Yeah, not far off. 14591. Yeah. Most traders fail trading lower time frames just because, and this is my opinion, I'm not saying this is factual, but there's far less edge there, and also it's far more stressful for traders. Therefore, they come into more emotional and behavioral hurdles than they would on a higher time frame. I've been seeing this guy on Twitter recently. He's not a big account. He's only got a couple of thousand followers, talking about making like 40 hour a week, and obviously he sells mentorship, obviously. And I saw a tweet of his earlier today, and it was like, if you're a trader and you aim for 20 or 30% per year, you may as well quit trading and just invest into the S&P 500. And people are like, yeah, but why not do both? And he was like, well, you could, but there's no point because you were not outperforming the S&P, which is, BS in the first place. Like 20 or 30% a year is like double the average S&P return, maybe triple it. But you're claiming to do 30 or 40 hour weeks. Like, come on, man, get out of here. He's early 20s, I believe. I'm just like, you have no clue. Like, you actually have no clue. And these are the kind of people who riddle this space with moronic values and ideologies and just should not be listened to at all. I don't like to talk bad about people, but D Martin NQ, I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw it too. Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. Like, I'll always give people their props on in terms of, you have your values, your beliefs, you have your strategy, and that's fine. I would never take that away. And you know what? More power to you if you do, if you perform at that high level, more power to you, because you're the best trader in the world, bar none. And I just find that really difficult to believe. CSM, it's real. What's real, dude? I hope you're not talking about the guy who I'm talking about. I think it's a real poor take. Like, if you're aiming, or let's say if you're averaging 20 to 30% per year, you shouldn't give up and invest in the S&P for two reasons. A, you're outperforming the S&P, and B, not the guy. I was going to say, my heart fluttered a minute, and I was like, oh my God, have I got to kick this guy from the live stream? Yeah, you have to be realistic. Absolutely. So like, as I was saying, 20 to 30% a year, A, is outperforming the S&P and any other benchmark pretty much in financial assets. And B, not only are you performing at a higher level, you can't leverage the same, like you can't leverage investing in the S&P the same way that you can leverage your skill of trading. If you've got £10,000 in the bank, that's all you can afford to put into the S&P. You might be able to buy leverage shares, do some stuff like that, but again, you're taking on more risk. If you have a skill set like trading where you can perform at 20 or 30% a year consistently, there is capital for you to trade. So you can leverage your skill in a different way, in terms of it's not just going, well, you shouldn't be bothered to trade and you should invest in the S&P. Like I might only have 10 grand to invest in the S&P, but I might be able to raise 5 million by talking to allocators, by getting a job at a fund, or raising capital through Darwinex prop firms. It's just a complete, it's an awful take, and I'm getting quite annoyed by thinking about it because it's so stupid. It's an awful take that you should give up trading to invest in the S&P. The average person who cannot trade yet, whatever. But if you're doing 20 or 30% a year, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Yeah, anybody could do. I could do 40% in a week, but I'd probably blow the account next week. Like, yeah, you can do high returns, but it's coming with high drawdown. Absolutely. If I walked into and on top of that, they sell courses. Yeah, it's the cherry on top of the cake, right? You sell a course, so of course you're gonna market yourself in the way that you do. But if you walked into any professional trading arena, like if you went to a prop desk or an investment bank or a hedge fund, and you said, I deserve your capital because I can do 40-hour weeks, I don't think they'll ask you for a track record. They'll just go, get out. I'm not wasting my time speaking to you. It's just the most, I'm not gonna talk bad about it anymore because it's just ridiculous, and I think we all agree on that. It's about as ridiculous as a strategy. I'm not trading that. That is not going live. I don't even want to put that on the charity Darwin. It's been since mid 2024. It's basically been under its high watermark. I'm not happy with the results. Yeah, it's still saying that there's 99% data quality. It's a bit strange. Where's the last one? So that doesn't look as bad. Yeah, weird. This one's going on though. I'll go on LVF where is my VPS? There we go. Let's move that back across. Yeah, so I need to upload that to my accounts now. I'll do it after the stream. But yeah, on top of that, they sell courses, as does everybody. I was having an interesting conversation with a friend of mine yesterday about this topic, and I think they were talking about trading to somebody who's not in the industry. Alexa, turn my Gobi lamp on. Okay. It's better. My friend was talking to somebody who's not in our industry about trading, and they just asked a simple question. They said, why does everybody who's a trader teach other people how to trade? And it's like, if somebody who's not in the industry knows that that's the case, it's like, I mean, you kind of have to wonder to yourself, like, what is the incentive to teach people to trade? I don't buy into the whole BS of, oh, I like to give back to the community. I like to help others because it makes me feel good. Like, stuff that where the sun don't shine. I'm sorry, but if you are truly an anthropopath, what's the word? Altruistic. If you are truly an altruistic individual and you want to give back, you'll be doing something for good. You're not teaching people how to trade and taking their money for it. Like, I had this argument with somebody a couple of years back, and I don't consider myself completely altruistic. Like, I like doing things to benefit other people. The charity Darwin will be another one of those, in terms of, like, I'm happy to put work in and see the benefit. Like, seeing other people benefit from it will let me sleep well at night and know I'm doing something good. But I had an argument with somebody a couple of years back because they said to me, I think I questioned why they were teaching people how to trade because they couldn't trade themselves. And we ended up getting a little bit heated, but it was like a respectful discussion. And they said, I like giving back to other people and helping, yada 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 yada, making it sound all like Lithuania. I had so many conversations about selling courses. They always coming back to me like this is my second income. That's the reality of it, man. Yeah, and this guy was coming at me with all of this like holistic BS, saying, "Oh, I like the way it feels. It feels good to give back, yada yada yada." When they're charging like $2,000 a year or $3,000 a year for mentorship fees, and I just put the guy on blast, and I was like, I did more so at the time. Like it's something that I need to do a little bit more of. I used to do a lot of stuff for charity. I used to donate a lot of money. I volunteered to a lot of things. So I volunteered to this charity, for example. You had to download an app to your phone, and if somebody was blind, they would download the app, and like if they were doing a task and they needed assistance, they would basically press their emergency button and it would come through to your phone. You would pick up, you would answer, you would help guide them through stuff. I used to do a lot of things like that. I used to donate money to various charities. I used to sponsor some children in Africa, and that was great because we'd receive like letters from them and like paintings and drawings and stuff. We used to have this little lad called Hassan in I can't remember what his little town was called. And I said to this guy, I was like, if you want to be doing something altruistic, truly altruistic, go and spend a week with these people who have nothing, not somebody who's looking to get a second income. You know, it's just completely different kettle of fish. Go and help people who need, help to live. Go and help somebody who doesn't have clean water, who doesn't have access to education, who doesn't have shoes on their feet, who's living in 40-degree heat, but guess what? They're living in a mud hut. There's no aircon, there's no fans, there's no windows. Like, go and help people who need it. Don't mask teaching somebody to build a second income who's probably earning, $50,000 a year at their main job. Don't mask that as some altruistic venture, because it's complete and utter rubbish, right? Whereas if somebody came out and said, look, I don't care about other people, I'm teaching a course to make bread, I'd be like, do you know what? I respect it. If you said, I like driving a Lambo and selling courses pays my Lambo, fair play. As long as you've got a record to back up the fact you can actually trade as well, of course. Yeah, when you ask, show me a record, they disappear. 100%. I mean, listen, I can't dox anybody because I'll get myself into a bit of a pickle from kind of a GDPR perspective. But I've seen a lot of mentors and a lot of influencers track records that come through Darwinex. I have access to our whole database. I've seen every single person who comes through who has a big name. Not one of them, not one single one of them has been able to maintain a track record. Not one single one. And in fact, what you usually find is the bigger the influencer, the less chance that they have at success long term, in my opinion. Specifically through Darwinex. Of course, as everyone's using the Astro FX model, it's horrible. It just got leading to it, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, Astro FX, thank God they're still around, right? I think they're under different names now. Yeah, I think they're all still around, but just operating under different names. But yeah, I mean, there's something that we're working on at the minute at Darwinex, which will be like an educational marketplace, I guess, where mentors can come and clients can come, and it'll be kind of an exchange of mentors, right? But one of the prerequisites of being listed on the exchange or on the educational exchange is that you have a verified track record, preferably through Darwinex, of course, where we can say, yeah, we're happy for you to be teaching other people because you're backing what you say. And if, who knows, if I want to make a bit of extra money in a year's time, who knows, maybe I'll open a mentorship. But guess what? One thing that I won't be doing is closing my Darwin, because do you know what I mean? Like, if you're selling something like that, you have to be able to prove that you can do what you actually do. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I'm just rambling on. I'm going on a bit of a got a bit of a rant. It's been a while since I've had a rant. It's been a good couple of months since I've gone on one of my rants. So yeah, anyway, we'll call it an end to the session there because I'm going off on so many tangents, ranting and raving about mentors and stuff. So we'll call it an end to the session there. We'll be back at 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow to do a Darwin review session. So if you want your Darwin analyzed, make sure you come back tomorrow, and I'll be happy to review your Darwin live on stream. So guys, thank you all for joining. Thank you all for your comments. It's been an active session today. I appreciate every single one of you who turns up week in, week out, day in, day out to come and listen to me rant and rave about everything markets and mentors and influencers and everything in between. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this from in the world. And I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.